Good evening and welcome to v8sonline tonight. We've got full coverage of the iRacing Proto-GT series, brought to you by our proud sponsors of Thrustmaster and TrakRacer. I'm your host tonight, Clayton Brooks, and alongside me filling in for Dan Bryant is Leo Gray. How are you, Leo?
Hello, Brooksy. Doing very well, thank you. Thank you for having me, by the way.
No problem, mate. Thanks for filling in on short notice. We're at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park tonight, affectionately known as Mosport throughout the iRacing community. Thoughts on the track? It's one of my favourites.
Oh, it's a world-famous circuit. It's played host to a number of Formula 1 Grand Prix over the year, and it's an awesome track for the multi-class racing that we're going to see tonight, and I can't wait for this one. Going to be very exciting. Yeah,
we touched on it last week, actually, the excitement we were expecting tonight. It's a tight track, it's not a very long track either, so expect a lot of lap traffic tonight with a big speed difference between the HBDs down to the 4GTs, so it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, the good thing with that though, this track, 3.9 kilometres, 10 turns, there's a lot of racing room here that the different classes will have, so even though it is a tight track, it's pretty short in length, it's still going to have enough room for these three different classes to mix amongst each other and have some great battles along the way.
I've got 24 degrees, 70% humidity today too, so nice and sunny for the boys out there.
Yeah, a good bit of sunshine never hurts. Seems like just the ideal temperature for good enough or plenty of grip in the tyres, and exciting racing out there is I think we'll expect to see tonight.
The starting grid for the prototypes, we've got Matthias Witt on pole with 1:04.5. It was a good time from Matthias. Jonathan Sohani in second, Steve Honan in third, Rafael Di Polo in fourth, Paul Agnew in fifth, Ian Ford in sixth, Neil De Bruin in seventh, Craig Dorr in eighth, Sylvain Pomerad in ninth, Matthew Zimmerman in 10th, Joeri Blue-Taka in 11th, Nick Towsey in 12th, and Alex Ching in 13th. And there were some hard names in there, Leo.
Yeah, it's always good to see an international field like we so often get in this Proto-GT series. But if we look through the Corvette field, a lot of cars in there. You've got Florian Denard sitting on pole position with a 1:11.955, then Sebastian Boyaka Jr., Tony Autridge, Jake Burton, two Australian drivers there with Mark Peter Dean, Charles Eng, Yuka Suvati, Bronislav Robinek, Kane Kigiyama, Timothy Ballinger, Aaron Hamilton, Tim Foltz, and Jason Scandalero rounding out a big field of Corvettes. And then we've got the Ford GTs, Brooksy. Take us through there.
Yeah, mate, we've got Fabio Gonzalez off pole position in the GTs. We've got Stefano Girali in second, Paulo Martins in third, Michael Schreier in fourth, Andrew Renaud fifth, Andrew Casey in sixth, Gennady Titov in seventh, Rafe Morrow in eighth, Matthew Paitner in ninth, Andre, I'm not even going to pronounce that, sorry Andre, in 10th, Doom Grundy in 11th, Adam Leff in 12th, and Bradley Matheson in 13th.
Big field of cars, 39 cars on the grid for this race tonight. And gee, with that many cars, a big spread of traffic, I think it's going to be a very exciting one for us tonight.
Oh, it's going to be very exciting. I'm just watching the guys do the warm-up here, and there's been quite a bit of aggravation just with the lap traffic out on the warm-up. So yeah, I'm expecting fireworks tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, it will be very intense out there. 45 minutes, even though it seems like a long time, it's going to be a pretty intense race for this series. No pit stops tonight, so green flag flies. You're going to have to make hay while the sun shines and try and get to the front as quickly as possible and try and come home with a win.
And we've got Daniel Bryan. He might be a bit puffed. He's done the big run. How are you, Dan?
Good to be here. I'm just loading into the server now to see what's going on.
Alright, mate. Glad you could make it.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. A little bit tighter and probably a lot more action than what we've had in the last few races.
While we're just waiting for the guys to do their formation lap, might give a shout out to Jay Golden, Mike Kennedy and Stephen Sandman Clark. I believe they've filmed the second episode of Short Shift today.
Episode number 2. It's pretty exciting. The guys have been really pumped about it, and yeah, I think they're pretty happy with what the footage they've captured. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, of course they did. We saw the first episode the other week there, and I thought it was going to be a monthly thing, but they've gone ahead of schedule and got the second show filmed, and hopefully it'll be out the end of this week sometime. So keep your eyes and ears peeled to our Facebook channel, guys, and yeah, it should be interesting to see what the guys have come up with. We got the pace car. He's doing the formation lap now. It won't take real long to get around the start finish line. Pretty short lap here at Mosport. Just having a look through some qualifying times too, and the top few cars in each class are pretty close. There's no one really dominating the field with qualifying time, so could see some quite close and exciting racing.
I think with the number of cars in all of those classes, we're pretty well guaranteed that there's going to be some action. No matter where we look, that's the best thing about having this many cars on track at the one time. It can be very exciting the whole way through.
Yeah, good field, good turnout for tonight. Yeah, those lap times are just crazy close. So look at the time difference between the Proto and the Corvette. Like, that's massive.
Yeah, the HPD's got so much downforce that these fast sweeping turns of Mosport is really where this car shines, and the important thing with that is that the time difference is what we need to have great interaction between these classes, so it should work well together.
We've got the guy controlling the 4GT cars,
He's got the
v8
go slow.
Gonzalez. Yeah, he's got the real go slow on. He's all the way down the bend of the back straight where the HBDs are just about to start the race. Wouldn't want to start too far behind. Those HBDs will be looming in their rear view mirrors quite soon, as Matthias White takes them to the checkered line.
Oh, looks like Raphael has gone out wide, straight onto the dirt.
Yeah, he's trying to get a good run onto the main straight.
So he's just tapped the wheel there on Steve Holmes. And good run out of there for the Corvettes.
Yeah, all the Corvettes got through turn 1 and 2 safely. Stefano's got led the 4GTs through the first corner. All got through safely, and we got Matthew Paetner starting from pit lane. Probably not a bad option for Matthew. We have a look at Fabio Gonzalez leading the GT2 cars.
Is Casey having a bit of a battle here with Michael Strayer? Paulo's just there as well.
Yeah, the hairpin there can create quite a bit of a bottleneck, bit of nose to tail action. You see it in every race here.
Matthias and the HBD's had a bit of an issue, giving Jonathan Cellini the lead.
Certainly not every day that you see the pole sitter make an unforced error like that. Just dropped the wheel off the track, lost a big lot of ground there.
So it's going to be one of the tracks where you do tend to make those errors. It's got to be Mosport. Very easy to misjudge your speed through a corner and just drop that tyre off.
The first couple of the GT1 Corvettes are having a good battle. Florian's still holding on. But right behind him he's got Saba and Tony Aldridge and Jake Burton right behind him. because Jake Bird and Tony Aldridge had pretty good races last week, so they'll be looking to capitalise this week.
Yeah, another good mover and shaker in the Corvette who always seems to do fairly well. Charles out there at the moment, he's always good at finding a fair few positions.
Check out the GT2 class. Big battle for the lead here between two Ford GTs. Fabio Gonzalez, the pole sitter, who's got Stefano Girali for a company there, putting big pressure on him down to the back part of the circuit. Yeah,
Stefano really racing hard.
Yeah, Fabio was late in the brakes there at the end of the back straight and went a little bit wide. Stefano will be taking all this on board and looking for a weak spot.
Yeah, that's it. Be doing a little bit as he puts it out sideways there for us. He'll be looking to see where he's weak there for Fabio and definitely taking advantage of it.
I've got to love the way that this place just flows, Mosport. It's a great track for racing just because of the way every single corner links together. So you've got to be well focused to make sure you don't make a mistake because it's going to have a run-on effect. A good run down the back straight. It's going to run you all the way down, and already we can see prototypes in GT traffic right now.
Yeah, Jonathan Cellini definitely really quick past these Ford GTs. The boys making sure they give him enough room because it'd be quite difficult getting around them.
Doesn't take long at all here, does it? It takes a cool head to get through this traffic, both from the HPDs and the GT2 class.
Here's a nice little battle now. Paul Ague looks like he's going to get the job done on Steve Honan. Gets it done.
My prediction was lap 5 for the traffic to start having an effect, but lap 4 the guys are certainly on it.
Yeah, it's like Steve Honan's going to have a bit of trouble here from Matthias, and there's Ian Ford coming through as well in the HPD.
Yeah, I've been watching Ian Ford. He's definitely made the most of that traffic on that lap.
Big thing. We're right on board with Ian Ford at the moment. Get a great feel of how you can manage this traffic. Key thing for these faster cars and this form of racing is just playing that traffic game. You've got to be smart, you've got to be patient. Guys like Paul Agnew doing well to make ground in this traffic.
Yeah, he's definitely made a few moves. Sorry there, Brooksy.
No, you're right, mate.
Just looking at Ian Ford now, watching him as he tries to make his way around through the traffic, plus trying to make positions up at the same time.
I was just going to touch on, of course, these faster cars, they can't just expect the slower cars to move out of the way either. They've got to make sure they do the pass properly and safely.
Yeah, that's it. Multi-class racing, it's all up to the fastest car to make his way around the slower car. The slower car doesn't need to actually get out of the way.
Quality of driving in this series though is a big standout for me. The drivers all know how they have to manage this game here, you know, just picking through traffic cleanly, making sure you don't get held up through the slower classes is the way to make
Matthias
position.
gives Steve Honan a little bit of a bump, and Steve...
He's around.
He's around, yeah.
Steve's lucky that he and Ford and Sylvain didn't get caught up there, but Steve Honan is dropping all the way back down to 7th, 8th position. It's heartbreak for Steve there. Looks like he's got a bit of wing damage at the same time.
That's really... Oh, he's struggling to go around the first corner. Obviously, can't get the grip down. It doesn't take much to upset the arrow in these cars.
Oh, is he... Oh, he makes his game way to rejoin the track right in front of turn 1.
Craig Doyle having a bit of a scary moment there.
Yeah, Steve Honan clearly not impressed with that move by Matthias, who at the same time, he must have had a hot collar from losing the lead with that unforced error, but 38 minutes to go in this race, you need to keep your cool, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Another person who's had a bit of an incident a bit further up, Sylvain, who was sitting in 5th in the HPD, has dropped the tyre and gone into a wall. It looks like he's got a bit of damage. His car's shaking around as he tries to keep it straight.
I honestly don't know where to look, guys. There's stuff happening all over the track here.
Oh, this is why we love this series. It's what we come for. 3 different classes, a lot of different racing. 39 cars on track at the moment. 38 minutes to go.
This is definitely very exciting. Looking at the front here with the HBDs, Jonathan Cellini and Paul Agnew really close. Looks like they've got a bit of clean air to battle this one out.
Only half a second separating these two at the moment. It's great to see great intense fights between these HPDs because often you see these the top runners just run away from the field, but not the case today at Mosport.
we've got an unbelievably close battle happening at the moment between Andrew Casey, Michael Schreier, Andrew Renan, Gennady Titov. All 4 cars super close on the track with the HPDs making their way through.
Oh, check it out. That's awesome to see. Well, big time moment between 2 multi-21 Ford GTs. Andrew Casey having to look up the inside of his teammate there, Michael Schreier. They're all over each other, and there's HPDs there keeping him company.
So, yeah, you try and HPD coming down it to while you're trying to get around your teammate. I'm actually surprised these HPDs are actually sticking back and just haven't gone around yet.
Well, with how hard those two are racing, I think that the HPD thought it would be better just to sit back, hold position, and get past them on the straights, not wanting to get mixed up in a fight as intense as that one, because it could end in tears if you're not careful.
I just watched Jory make his way through that pack of GT2 cars, and that's exactly what he did. He just waited for the straight and didn't press the point with them.
Just watching first and second here in the HPDs, and they were going left, right, and everywhere trying to get around these 4 GTs to make sure that their battle stays hot.
Oh, I've got a Corvette at Charles and G around at the hairpin.
Oh, Charles.
And he's looped it again in front of the leaders.
Oh,
Charles. Very close call. That is not what you want to see come around a hairpin.
Oh, he's definitely gone. We'll pull that up on our race recall replay. It looks like he's just gone a bit too hot there and spun it. And Juka was the one that actually ended up being worse for wear, hitting him front on.
Very unfortunate there for those two drivers, especially Charles Eng. He's not had the best of luck at all this season. We know he's got the pace, but unfortunately hasn't been able to put together the results that he needs at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. Proto-GT racing has proved one thing, that consistency is the key here to winning races.
That's
so, unfortunate for Charles, but hopefully he can get his car fixed and back out there.
Just want to touch on the GT1 cars of Florian. He's got a 1.1 second lead over 2 battling very hard, Saba and Tony Autrich.
Oh, look at that. Tony Autrich putting big pressure on Saba. There's only 0.3 of a second separating them, and they're looking like this battle's not going to go away anytime soon. Autrich very hungry.
Yeah, Tony's done well. He's bridged a little bit of gap that opened up in the first lap or so, and he's bridged that and he's glued to the back of Kasaba's Corvette at the moment.
And our HPD pole sitter is currently in the pits. That's Matthias White with an unscheduled pit stop. Not what he was wanting to see tonight.
No, he's probably gotten a little bit of damage from that little incident he had before. He's definitely going to be disappointed about that one. He definitely had the speed out there, and just a few little errors has forced him to hit the pits early.
As was mentioned before, the key thing is keeping your nose clean, staying out of trouble for the whole 45 minutes, because this race is only 10 minutes old. Got Ian Ford in the pits as well. What's happened there?
Just watching.
He's got a little bit of damage there, Ian. So he's obviously had a run-in with someone somewhere or a fence.
I don't know if it's just my screen, guys, but I'm looking at Paul Agnew and he looks to be blinking around the track, which is definitely going to be distracting for Jonathan as they make their way around some lap traffic. And Ford thought better of it, called it a night.
Just so you know, Dan, I've also got Paul blinking slightly on my screen right now, so perhaps slight internet issues for Paul Agnew, which is not easy for the boys to deal with out there. Hopefully he can stay out of trouble and make it to the finish.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like they're going to come up to some interesting fun now with 2 Corvettes right in front of them.
Oh, this is going to be exciting to see. You've got the leader, Jonathan Zohani, running side by side with the Corvette through the final turn. They're going to catch another one by the time they reach turn 1. Side by side, nearly into turn 1. Wow. Great pressure here.
Jonathan knows he needs to get around these cars.
As he goes around the outside of turn 2.
Paul Agnew has to push out really wide there to get around that corner.
This is where things get really interesting with the amount of pressure that Jonathan's got on him at the moment. He can't afford to wait behind these GTs. He's just got to make a move wherever he can see it happen and hope that it sticks.
Looks like he's the winner out of that move so far. He's put a little gap between Paul. Paul looking really strong under brakes though compared to Jonathan as he catches right back up again. Nice little battle here for 6th and 7th between Craig Dorr and Nick.
Oh, it's got Tom Grundy off of the hairpin in the Ford GT.
He's lagging for. Are you lagging, Brooksy?
I don't know. Am I?
Yep. Am I still lagging?
Good old technical difficulties. Hope they're not causing too much trouble for the stream out there, guys. But a lot of exciting action happening on track. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring you that one as soon as everything gets back and underway.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry about that, guys. Few tech issues there, and hopefully everything will be sorted real soon.
Well, picking us back. Here we are.
I believe we got pictures, and this is one thrilling race here.
Big apologies, guys, but battle at the front is still Jonathan Solhani and Paul Agnew leading this race. Proto-GT at Mosport.
It looks like Jonathan's just managed to get a gap now from Paul Agnew. 4 seconds now, the gap between our leaders and the HVD. So Paul Agnew losing a little bit of pace, trying to get around some lap traffic.
I'm just hearing some reports from pit lane. Our pole sitter, Matthias White, he blown an engine. That's why he had to go to pit lane.
Oh, that's disappointing. Having a look now as well, just to give you guys a bit of a catch-up of what's happened. Looks like in our GT1 class, Tony Ortridge has gotten around Saba.
Yeah, they're still having a great battle, Daniel. Saba hasn't let him get away.
Just having a look at our GT2 there to Fabio, who's managed to open up a little gap from Stefano as he lets our GT1 boys through.
A long way to go in the race, however.
Just like to touch on, if you guys remember, at the top of the broadcast, Raphael went off on the warm-up lap before the start-finish line. He's now up into 4th and he's looking strong.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to move through. Always a good competitor, Raphael, so a bit of work for him. Made his job harder than what it needed to be, but good to see him powering through as he catches up to Neil in 3rd.
Less than half a second separating those two right now. He's been closing over the last few laps. With this traffic, he's there right now. He's going to have a look into turn 1, can't make the move, but with this traffic, I think we're going to see a pass for us, and there it is.
There it is.
Side by side.
Gotten in the right position on the inside of the Corvette here. Brilliant job there.
Yeah, well done.
Set it up a few corners ahead.
That was a beautiful example of using the traffic to your advantage. Neil had to just wait up for a second with a Corvette at the apex. Raphael was there, took advantage of it and just pounced. Took the position, job done.
Well, the one that's a little bit worrying at the moment seems to be losing speed. He's lost a lot of time on Jonathan. His Paul Agnew seems to be dropping back a bit. So mightn't be too much longer until we see Raphael fighting Paul for 2nd.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on Paul Agnew. His car looks a little bit slippery, a little bit loose out of the hairpin especially. He's been getting plenty of sideways movement and it's certainly hurting his lap times.
That is an interesting development because they were within about half a second for a long stretch of time there, Jonathan and Paul. But he has dropped back. It's about 6.5 seconds now, the gap. Jonathan pulling a gap of about a second a lap at the moment, keeping his nose clean, doing everything that he needs to do right now.
We have a look at the battle between Mark Peter Dean and Aaron Hamilton, the GT1 class.
Number of Corvettes there right now. Looks like all the way through 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment. Big trainer cars.
Yes, we've got the HPD of Nick Housey make their way through there, but they try and get through.
Jake Burton in the wall.
Oh! Again, one of those incidents a bit too wide into that corner, drop the tyre off, and there's not much you can do about that. We'll just pull that up on the race recall replay for you guys. He's hasn't hit it too hard, the wall, but it looks like it's done some damage.
So easy to do there. You see that he was offline due to traffic. Not anybody's fault, but he just drove it in a little bit too hot there, ran off the road and caught a bit of the wall. He'll push on, hopefully not too much damage. Let's see how he recovers from here.
We'll touch on as Jake just makes his way past, or tries to make his way past the lead of the GT2 cars, Fabio Gonzalez.
Oh, Jake's struggling there.
He still hasn't got the job done on Fabio.
Gonzalez got his own traffic to deal with. He's sort of slow at GT himself. And going to be a hairy moment right now. Got a Corvette and a HPD behind him, heading down into turn 1. Gonzalez being very assertive. He wants this position. He's going to take it. And then the others will have to deal with him when they can.
Great driving there by all the guys.
You know that Fabio Gonzalez is a good steerer. We've seen him over the seasons in the past, especially in the Grand Am Championship. Agnew in the pits.
Oh, that was our second place in the HPDs.
Obviously, he's been struggling for the last few laps. So, see if we can find what's happened to him. He's just completely missed his brake mark, it looks like, and he's managed to hit the fence, so he'll be disappointed with that. Had such a strong start to this race, and now it's all going backwards for him. Few easy positions there for Raphael, and as Neil inherits the podium out of that one.
With Paul out of the race, that leaves Jonathan Solhani in the lead with a 33-second gap back to Rafael Adepalo. Neil De Bruin in third, completing the HPD podium. So, big development there.
Just talking about the podium, Tony Autridge and Saab fighting for the second spot in the GT1 cars. The Saab is catching back up to Tony now. They've cleared a lot of the traffic.
Yeah, I'm actually having a look at some lap times here to see if Raphael will be able to catch up to Jonathan. The last few laps, Jonathan's had some issues with traffic. And it's given Raphael a chance to knock out a couple of 108s, comparing that to Jonathan's lap times about 110 to 112. So there's, 2-4 seconds easily per lap that Raphael has been able to pull in.
That's right. Big thing though is that when you've got a big of a lead like that, you can take your time, you can be patient. There are areas of the track that the HPDs are just so much stronger than the other classes that it's an easy pass. So I'm sure Jonathan's just biding his time, playing it sensible, keeping out of trouble, and just doing everything he can to secure a victory.
Have we got a race on our hands though? It was 4 seconds that last lap. Raphael took Leo Jonathan, so if he keeps up that pace, who knows what might happen.
Definitely keep you posted as to how that goes. Still keeping an eye myself though on this battle for second in the GT1 class. Tony Autridge and Sebastian Volker. Not letting him go right now. Look at the lap times, there's not much between them at all. I think traffic's going to play a big part right now. This one's still got a lot to fight for at the moment.
Yeah, just looking, the next lot of traffic they get is Tim Foltz and Florian up ahead in GT1 cars as well. So they don't have a huge amount of traffic in them, in front of them for the next few laps.
Well, we currently have 20 minutes left in this motor race. 20 minutes left from the Prototype GT Challenge. at Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Running through the class leaders, we've got Jonathan Sohani leading the HPD's field from Rafael Di Paolo and Neil De Bruin. Florian Denard leading the GT1 Corvettes from Tony Orchard and Sebastian Volker Jr. And then leading the Ford GTs is Fabio Gonzalez, Stefano Girali and Paolo Martins. It's been an intense fight. We're more than halfway, 20 minutes to go till the finish.
It's been awesome racing so far, some really close racing at the start there, and we always know with these Proto-GT races that everything kind of settles out towards the end, that normally we get some really cool intense battles heading towards the back of this. So I'm very excited once this fuel starts wearing off and these guys really get their cars locked in. I think we're going to be in for a great finish. Oh, it looks like Jonathan finally got some clear traffic and really answered those lap times. 106.802. Massive time difference there from Rafael.
We've still got the battle on track between Andrew Wren, Dom Grundy and Andrew Casey. These guys are fighting for 5th, 6th and 7th. Oh no, sorry, 5th and 6th on GT2 cars.
Not much between them at all. These Ford GTs have been putting on a good fight. There's a number of battles through that field. It looks like Fabio Gonzalez, our leader, doesn't actually have that big of a gap back to second place Stefano Girali either. Only about a second and a half by my timing monitor.
No, you're right, Leo, and they've got a lot of traffic making their way through them at the moment.
Gonna have to keep our eye on this one because I don't think this one's over by a long shot. You can see they're on the same shot of the screen right now. First and second in the GT2 class. This one's gonna heat up before this race is over, I'm sure of it. Look at the way the HPD stream through there. That's awesome to see. Who's that?
That's Rafael. Rafael wants to get through. As he's making time on Jonathan Sohani, our race leader at the moment, he wants to get clear of this traffic as soon as possible.
Awesome to see there. You've got 3 different classes all on the same piece of road right there. Ford GT, Corvette GT1 and HPD fighting for the same piece of real estate.
They're all ducking and weaving.
Of course, we mentioned it's up to the faster cars to make these passes safe and clean, so that's just the responsibility you get when you want to race the faster car.
What that's done now, I think we're going to see that Tony Orchard's going to clear. No, I'm looking at the wrong driver right now. But very, very shortly, you're going to have Stefano with no traffic separating him and Fabio Gonzalez. This is going to be a clean race to the finish between these 2 GT2 drivers.
Oh, got Adam left and on the front straight as he makes his way, and I've got HPD and Corvettes taking avoiding action. A couple of cars had to take it to the grass there to avoid Adam left.
Done a good job to keep out of the way there. Bring that up on a race recall replay for you. See exactly what happened there with Adam. Seems as if he's just gotten a bit out of shape through the final corner. Caught a little bit of the grass, which has fired him into the inside wall. Luckily enough, there was a little bit of traffic coming through, but no one was able to catch him. He's just pulled off to the side, and back into the pits he goes. Race over, Adam left.
Looks like Tony Orchard has just lost his position for second. Saba getting the move done.
Yeah, I knew that battle wasn't over. The way Saba was able to catch back up when they got in a bit of clear air.
Oh, Orchard nearly loses out in HPD traffic there.
Yeah, that HPD of Jory, they're really keen to get through and make a move around Tony Orchard, which shot him out a little bit wide.
We're going to bring that up on the race recall replay, see exactly how that position changed. But Orchard just wasn't very tidy through the final sequence of corners. Got a little bit taily out of the final turn, and Sabah was able to take advantage of that, run side by side into turn 1, take the position.
Yeah, great move there by Sabo. Kept it clean all the way through. Stefano here, not too far away from Fabio, so still at our striking distance.
Yeah, you definitely can see Fabio. He's got a visual sighting on him. There's still enough time for him to catch, that's for sure.
15 minutes left in this race. Looks like they're clear of traffic, and looking at the lap times, pretty well running bang equal right there. I think that traffic is going to be the big factor here.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a while until they get some slower traffic. Tony Orchard
Side by
and
side
Saba.
once again, Tony Orchard and Saba. Saba manages to hold onto the position, but those guys are running side by side through the corner there. Beautiful job into the hairpin. Tony Orchard's going to look to get a big run down this back straight, but this fight is a long way from over. Look at the run that Tony Orchard has got.
Tony Orchard, he might just have the distance here.
He's going to have a look
Saba
at the
doing
brake
well
zone.
to
Saba
defend
runs
his
defensive,
position.
so Tony Orchard's going to have a look around the outside. He can't get there under brakes. Has to settle back into third place right now. Final 2 corners on the lap before we reach the start-finish line.
This Ford GT of Andrew Wren is probably going to play out.
There you go. Andrew Wren's got his own race to run. Does a very good job there. But these two guys
Oh,
still
here
are
comes
going at it harder
HBD
than
right
ever.
behind it. Nick Towsey as well.
Really going to mix things up right now.
Oh, Andrew Wren. Off of turn 2, he's done very well not to go out and touch the wall there.
Turn 2, such a dangerous corner. They're very easy to find yourself in the tyre barrier. Good job by Andrew to stay himself from that.
Probably one of the hardest corners we have on our race, and I believe anyway. It's downhill off camber.
Yeah, it's a tough track, this one. Also, current battle on screen, we've got Kane Kugiyama putting big pressure on Jake Burton with HPD traffic for company. Big move up the inside of Kugiyama there. This is the fight for 4th and 5th in the GT1 class that we're looking at right now. Burton, of course, had that off-track excursion later. He's done well to recover to where he is, but Kane putting big pressure on the back of this Corvette.
I've got Kane actually, he's dropping in and out of the server a little bit, so he's having a few lag issues.
Gap between these two drivers right now, less than half a second. 3/10 as they run down the back straight. Kugiyama with a big drop, puts the nose out into, Jake Burton just sweeps across, takes the position, making sure that he's knocking on a Kugiyama by. Final 2 corners on the track, and they're going to be around for another lap. Great defensive driving by Jake Burton.
He's doing well to keep that car together. It looks like there's a fair bit of damage to the side of that, and to still be racing so hard, definitely good to see.
You look at his lap times, he's a little bit off the pace, but still doing well. Burton, of course, had that off-track excursion a little bit earlier in the race, but he's recovered very well. Looks like...
Oh, here we go. Tony Orchard. Look at these cars go around. Looks like
3 wide, they're side by side with the Ford GT. Running down the back straight right now. This is for 2nd place in the GT1 class.
I think he's going to get this done. It looks like Saba's just got a bit too hot.
He went straight ahead. Very late on brakes, and he just couldn't
stop
stop
it in the wall.
Jason Scandalara from Multi 21.
Multi 21 driver there, hitting the wall. Just a lot of stuff happening there. Just pull that up on the race recall replay.
On the replay for sure. Looks like Jason Scandalara got a bit loose heading into the corner. Just tagged the wall, not too hard. Lucky that nobody else got caught up in that one. A lot of action happening on track right now.
Tony Orchard just given himself a nice little gap now back from Saba, but I don't think it's going to take Saba long probably to start pulling that back in.
I'm not going to say that battle's over just yet, Daniel.
No, definitely not.
I think what we saw is that was a mirror image of the move that we saw between Jake Burton and Kane Kugiyama down the end of the back straight.
Jason. Sorry to butt in there, Leo. Jason Scandalara off again at the hairpin, so he's having a few dramas with the handling of that car now, it seems.
Never rains at Boars.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit worse for wear.
Burton and Kugiyama once more. The GT in front of them, a HPD behind them. This fight's going to continue on. They're not going to be eager to let that HPD by because they want to get past this Ford GT. You've got Kane Kugiyama with a big run. Burton runs defensive once more. Going to make Kane go the long way around. Looks like that he's ahead. He's going to take the position.
Kane's got that done. Nice job there by Kane to keep that clean. But this HBD wants through. Alex ducks some weaves.
Oh, Burton not going to let that happen.
Oh! Looks like Alex
has spun it. Just kept it off the wall at the final corner.
I think that's all happened trying to avoid
he's parked it in a very awkward spot.
Oh. Oh no!
No, place.
No.
Yep. Martin. Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, a bit of a silly move there by Alex. Probably should have reversed that thing and tried to flick it around, not going straight back out across on the track. Oh.
I'm not sure what Alex is doing there. That's hugely damaged car. He's got to get that back to pit lane, which he's done now.
Sorry guys, whilst that was happening, second place in the HPDs, Rafael De Paulo has pulled himself into the pits. He's retired from this race out of second position.
Oh, that's a big... We're stepping about that up on the race recall replay. I'm looking at it now. Oh, I think he's actually done this all by himself.
Turn 2, is it turn 2, turn 3? He's gotten very loose in the middle of the corner, looped the car around hard into the tyre wall there. Big impact. He's out of the race from second position.
He's going to be disappointed about that.
Yeah, he just seems to get an unsteady bump and through turn 2, and it's unsettled the rear of that car massively.
Probably something we haven't talked about a lot. There's a fair few bumps here in Mosport, especially coming down that back straight. You kind of look at it and looking from our cameras, you probably notice and probably think, oh yeah, that looks fairly straight, but in the actual car, you're bouncing up and down, trying to get down there.
The HPD especially very sensitive to all of this behaviour. But a HPD who's done it all right tonight is Jonathan Solahani. Got a massive lead at the moment, 58 seconds back to second place, Neil de Bruin. He's just got to keep his nose clean. 7 minutes to go in this motor race, and he's looking pretty good for a victory right now.
Yeah, I was going to say that. The way the top HPDs are falling off, Neil de Bruin might be in for a win here. You never know. Of course, with Kane is suffering a little bit of lag and blinking a little. That's going to be very distracting for our race leader.
Oh, just dicing, trying to figure out which way each one's going to go, but Jonathan gets through cleanly into the turn. Kane continues on. He's actually made it back past Jake Burton. We didn't see that happen, but those guys were fighting very hard earlier in the race.
We'll check in our GT2 leader, Fabio Gonzalez. He's still doing everything right.
Yeah, he's still got Stefano there, who's not too far off. You know, he can see him, but you know, I think he's going to have to pray for Fabio to get some traffic that's going to slow him down.
Yeah, the corner of my eye there, I've got Jason Scandalara off at turn 2. Managed to keep it off the wall, but he's lost more positions now.
Nice little battle here for 6th and 7th between Aaron Hamilton and Timothy Ballinger.
Yeah, these guys have been doing well. They're not always regulars in this series. Aaron Hamilton obviously races the V8 supercar a fair bit. Doing well, 6th and 7th in their class at the moment.
Always good to see some of the V8 supercar boys out here giving the GTs a crack. GT1 leader Florian Zanardi as he makes his way around a Ford GT. Great race here from Florian. Definitely the big battle between Tony Autridge and Sabo definitely played out to his advantage.
That's been working in the favour of Florian. The battle between Tony Autridge and Sabaka Volka seems to have resolved in Tony Autridge's favour. That's our current podium at the moment. Florian Denard, Tony Autridge, Spark and Volker in the GT1s, but still 5 minutes remaining in this race. Not much time left at all.
I got to say, our third place in the HBDs, Jory Bluetacker, he's a lap down, but he's been very adamant on the mic, on the comms, telling other guys what he wants to do, where he wants to make the pass, and he's managed to keep his nose clean. He's going to pick a podium up out of this.
Again, one of the conversations that we seem to have every week around Proto-GT is consistency is the key here. You know, you don't have to go out there and set blistering fast times, you just need to be consistent. There's a good chance that some quality positions are going to fall into your lap.
That's it. We need to remember that this style of racing is endurance racing. Plays out very, very differently. Keeping your nose clean, staying out of trouble is the key to success right here. Guys like Jonathan, Florian and Fabio Gonzalez are masters of that at the moment. That's why they're leading their respective classes.
An absolutely dominating lead now. Salini back to Neil de Bruyn in second. Over a minute now, that gap between them.
Saba Volga with a big moment, sliding still into turn one. He had a big moment through the final turn.
See a bit of heat in those tyres.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
pushing
big
hard.
time.
You can still see Tony Autry just up in front for that second spot on the podium, and he's pushing very hard for it.
Check the lap times. He's closing about 0.8 of a second every single lap, but with 3.5 minutes left in the race, I don't know if he's going to get there, but he's trying his absolute hardest to make that position back.
We're hoping that Tony Autridge catches up to a Ford GT at an awkward moment, which he has. Andrew Casey.
With a bit of traffic, you never know what will happen, but this is what multi-class racing is all about. Tell you what, guys, Saba's managed to get through that traffic at the right time, and there's now only a 1.5 seconds separating him from Tony Autridge. He's going to get past the other Ford GT heading into this turn. He's not been held up at all.
No, he's played that very well, Saba.
It's a big motivator being able to see the person in front of you and seeing that gap slowly dwindle away. So he's going to be pushing hard. He's going to have a quick look, see
that time through, Tony Autridge did a 13.9, Saba 13.4, so half a second taken out of his lead there.
Yeah, and that was with traffic.
Nick Towsey's in the wall in the HBD. Had a bit of an issue getting around a Ford GT and has just planted the car in there. We'll pull that up on the race recall replay.
He was running position number 4.
That is unfortunate.
Keeping your nose clean is what it's all about. When you're in the faster class, it's your responsibility to get through safely.
Yeah, you can see.
Hasn't gone well for Nick tonight.
Just seeing the race recall replay, he's it was predicting the GT to go to the outside and give him the inside line, which didn't happen, and race over.
It's a little bit unfortunate to see. The prototype guys have been our big victims for tonight. We have 9 HBDs that have all got DNFs. Oh!
GT1 battle right here. Aaron Hamilton, Timothy Ballinger. Big fight. Only a couple of laps left to go. These guys are fighting for 6th and 7th in the GT1 class. Hamilton wants it. Ballinger trying to take it.
Ballinger knows that it's there, and it's one of those things. A lot of these guys will just kind of conserve right to the end, let the fuel wear out, and then attack and get this position. Timothy Ballinger on full attack here on Aaron Hamilton.
Half a second separating these two Corvettes. A minute left in the race right now. They will be taking the white flag as they cross the start-finish line to signal the final lap of this race.
Timothy Ballinger is well in the draft of Aaron Hamilton in front. He got a good run off that hairpin.
Definitely looking solid there, Timothy Ballinger. He knows he's going to need to get it done this lap.
Through those S's, the car looks like it's transferring the weight beautifully, where Aaron Hamilton seems to be struggling with his turn in a little.
You see the time he's made right there, 30 seconds left. This is the final lap of the race. Ballinger putting massive pressure on Hamilton. My apologies, my mistake, starting the white flag lap. Next time, Jonathan Sahani crosses the start-finish line. Just right now.
Oh, here we go. Look, there's a Ford GT here holding up Aaron Hamilton. This can play out to Timothy Ballinger's hands.
Because Andrew Wren, a very experienced campaigner in the 4GTs, he's done well there not to interfere too much with those guys. He's currently running 5th with good consistent times tonight.
Solani's coming up to the checkered flag now. Brilliant drive all around from this guy. Consistent, kept himself out of trouble.
Sohani has had the fastest lap of the race. He has led the majority of this race so far, kept his nose clean, stayed out of trouble. Beautiful drive by Jonathan Sohani as he takes the checkered flag. Jonathan Sohani wins at Mosport.
Florian does the smart thing there, lets Solani pass so he doesn't have to do another lap. And takes the win in the Corvette. Tony Autridge coming in second. The guys that are still battling here in these Corvettes, Timothy Ballinger, Aaron Hamilton. Oh, there's a bit of an accident in front as Juka and Matthew Paetner. And it looks like there's a HBD as well, Neil de Bern. All having a bit of a mishap there in that corner.
Bit of a mess there on the final lap. Still a number of cars out there racing, trying to complete their own fights for themselves.
Looks like Timothy Ballinger's struggling.
We got the leader of Fabio Gonzalez around the last corner. He takes the win in the GT2 cars.
Something's happening here with Timothy Ballinger. He just seems to be struggling to get this car around.
Ballinger about 2 seconds behind Aaron Hamilton right now. Coming into the last final sequence of corners. Not going to be there. Tim Foltz putting pressure behind, it seems. Ballinger crosses the line. Seems like that Ballinger was collected in an earlier accident on that final lap. Might have been that HPD accident that we saw. But
no, I think that's all. The guys, I think Andrew Wren was the last car to cross the line.
Well, didn't matter where we looked, there was always an intense fight between all of these three classes. Mosport, beautiful, beautiful facility, fantastic racing. Prototype results. Let's run through the field right now. After you, Brooksy.
Yeah, for the prototypes, Jonathan Sohani with an absolutely dominant performance. Minute 20 over Neil de Bruin. Jory Bluchtacker got third spot, win 1 lap down. Steve Honan 2 laps down, and I'm pretty sure that was the last of the finishers. Nick Townsey in 5th. Sylvain Pomeradi in 6th, Raphael in 7th, Alex Ching in 8th, Paul Agnew in 9th, Craig Dorr in 10th, Tyus Whitty, our pole sitter, in 11th, Ian Ford in 12th, and Matthew Zimmerman in 13th.
Yeah, definitely a lot of DNFs there in that HBD field, which is a little bit sad to see, but we'll go into the Corvettes now. Florian Denard completely dominating there in the Corvette. Tony Autridge second with a fantastic battle with Sabe in third. Kane Kugiyama 4th. Jake Burton 5th. Aaron Hamilton 6th. Timothy Ballinger 7th. Tim Foltz 8th. Juka 9th. Jason 10th. Bronislav 12th. And Mark Peter Dean 13th.
And then running through the GT2 class, the Ford GTs, Fabio Gonzalez coming away with the victory tonight. Stefano Girali, second position. Paulo Martins with a very strong podium, followed by Michael Schreier, Andrew Wren, Gennady Titov, Andrew Casey, Andrei Ovakareg, Dom Grundy, Matthew Painter, Adam Leff, Braith Morrow all stuck trouble unfortunately, and Bradley Matheson rounding out the GT2 field.
It was definitely a thrilling race. Unfortunately, of course, a lot of HBDs were unable to finish, but I think on a whole, for what we expected tonight, it was the guys did an outstanding job out there.
Yeah, definitely a fantastic job. I'm sure looking at the way these guys have really kind of grown into this Proto-GT series from where we started, when we first started doing this broadcast, these guys have really improved. I'm pretty sure if Mosport was at the start, we would have seen a lot more DNFs across the whole field. HBD guys were really quite patient in getting around. Unfortunate to see so many of them DNF, but for the GT1 and GT2 guys, really kept it clean and kept themselves out of trouble, which is great to see.
Yeah, there'll be quite a few guys there tonight. They'll be pretty happy with their results, I think, especially, like you said, Daniel, in the GT1, GT2 cars. It was in the HBD cars. Quite a few guys made a lot of positions just by keeping it clean, keeping it straight, and using the traffic to their advantage. But certainly an exciting race. It's probably one of my favourite races I've watched this season, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It was a brilliant race all the way through. Guys were racing really hard, keeping it clean though, and actually setting themselves up. It looked like a lot of guys were thinking a few corners ahead on how they were going to approach a slower car, which is really good to see and gets me really excited for next week, which is the final round, where we're off to Road Atlanta, which is one of my favourite tracks, especially when it comes to multi-class racing.
Yeah, really looking forward to Road Atlanta. It's got a little bit of everything, a lot of undulation, a nice big long back straight, and plenty of nice flowing corners to it. So I'm looking forward to that round, that's for sure.
Home of Petit Le Mans. Going to be awesome to get there for Road Atlanta. I'll be watching with great anticipation. Thank you very much for having me tonight, guys. It was an awesome motor race and great to be a part of it.
Thanks for joining us. Actually, thanks for jumping in. Obviously, you've got a big night tomorrow with Monday night broadcast for v8sonline. What are your thoughts for tomorrow's event?
Can't wait. v8sonline covering the iRacing V8 Supercar Series from Virginia International Raceway. It's going to be an exciting event. 2 races left in the championship for us. Make sure you tune in. Don't miss any of the action. We'll be covering it live and exclusive. v8sonline.com.au.
Yeah, VIR, it certainly always throws up something that on paper it looks like a pretty sort of plain track, but always provides interesting racing no matter what car you go in, especially the V8s aren't shy of that either.
It's going to be
not wrong at all.
It's going to be absolutely exciting, and the best thing about Monday night races now is that if you tune into the America broadcast, which is Saturday lunchtime, our time, you can kind of get a glimpse of what's actually going to happen on Monday night with the top split guys. It's kind of almost like a little development series for us. But those American guys, they race really, really hard. Their VIR race was absolutely amazing. So if you haven't watched it, definitely have a look at that one because it's brilliant to watch.
Not wrong there, DJ. Viewers, you can catch all of the action from all of our series at v8sonline.com.au. Jump onto our Facebook page. Keep attention to all of the different series we're covering right now because we've also got V8s on Monday night, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Wednesday nights, and V8 Supercar Americas Saturday mornings.
Definitely a lot to keep up with, plus now with Short Shift thrown into the mix, which hopefully we'll see by the end of this week, episode 2, which is going to be amazing. A big shout out to Jay Kennedy and Stephen Sandman Clark for that one. I think it's about time to call it a night, guys. So I will be watching tomorrow. You'll be hearing Leo Gray's voice tomorrow night for V8s Online, and me and Brooksy will catch up with you guys for the very last race for this season before we start talking about Race of Champions at Road Atlanta on Sunday night, guys.
Thanks for having us again tonight, guys, and thanks, Leo, for jumping in and helping out. Much appreciated, mate.
Pleasure as always. Just happy to be a part of this awesome racing that we can bring to you all. Take care, guys.